Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome back to our Living in Vraj. I'm very happy to be healthy again. Thank you so much for all your prayers. That was very, very helpful. And today we will go for the second part of Chandra Sarovar. It's called Chandra Sarovar and Sadhus because there will be actually quite some sadhus we will hear about today. So we are very excited and we will immediately start by sharing the screen and starting this pilgrimage. I will just put a background music and maybe Divya Kishori, you can let me know if the sound is proper. Or Divya Kishori, you are able to listen and let me know. Can you hear the background?
Yes.
So the mix is good? You can hear the background music and the voice?
Yes.
Oh, okay, super. Okay, perfect. Okay, so today Chandra Sarovar and Sadhus. So we will start by offering our obeisances. This is a place in Chandra Sarovar where there is a round platform. And often in Braj, we see those platforms a little bit high, let's say up to the belly high, more or less. And it's a place where the Rasa Lila is commemorated, and it's a place that are actually meant for Radha and Krishna to dance on it. We see many of them throughout Braj. And this one is there in Chandra Sarovar, which is one place of the Rasa Lila, or Lila Stali of Rasa dance. So here we see there is also an asan with 3 beautiful Govardhan Shilas. And on the right, on the lowest part, there is actually a footprint of Radha and Krishna. And we thought this is ideal place to offer our obeisances. Yeah, this here. We will need to see proper. And because it's a place of Rasa Lila, and we will hear today about Rasa Lila, it's something very elevated, something very, very special. So we might need some extra blessings or prayers to be able to enter the realm of the dance of Lord Krishna. So please look very nicely at the picture. It's actually under a beautiful big Kadamba tree. And now you can close your eyes and in your meditation is fall at the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna at the base of this asan with Giriraj Shila, and offer your prayers to your spiritual master, to Srila Prabhupada, to Holy Dham, so that we can be able today to enter the independent dimension of the transcendental Holy Dham. Might like to roll a bit right and left into the dust, remembering that at this particular place, Radha and Krishna were the Lila dance. You can open your eyes. We will move forward to the principle of the image of today, which is very well connected to the Rasa Lila. because in one sense the Rasalila dance is something very high, but to enter this very high level actually is a position of humility. And this is the principle of pilgrimage for today, is remain in a humble state of consciousness and you will receive everything. When we were preparing for this kata, was a lecture Jagatarini Mataji that she was actually giving in the place where we were last time. And then she was saying, when you are in Braj, you need to be very humble. You should not think, oh, even those children are disturbing me, or why is this dog coming to me now and chasing away? We have to always understand that all those living entities are there, actually residents of the whole Holy Dharma, but we are actually only visitors. So in that way, we should be actually very, very humble when we are in Vrindavan and never think that we are higher than any other persons. Now, as Jagatarini Mataji was giving the lecture, some children were there from village Baita. So some children were asking for cookies. Because one lady, one Mataji started to give sweets out to the children. So Jagatarini Mataji advised her, you are thinking you are doing something good for the children, but you are actually going.
Hare Krishna.
Yes?
Prabhuji, there is the voice is a bit faltering. So can you lower down the music for something?
Sure, sure.
I have also received a message from some other devotees, so I'm sharing.
Sure, sure. Oh, no, yeah. Okay, now it should be lower. Is it better?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So Jagatarini Mataji was lightly chastising this Mataji, saying, you think you do something good to distribute the sweets to the children, but actually you are doing this service to the entire audience of this kata, because more and more children will come and they will ask for more and more, and no one will be able to listen to the kata. So Jagatarini Mataji gave a very strong point that actually most of the time when we are in Braj, we do not know how to act. We are out of the culture. We are not aligned to the culture of Braj, and so often we will actually do things that are not good, that are not proper, that are not done in the right time, in the right place. So she was saying, when you are in Braj, always keep your head down and pray a lot. Pray a lot that all what you will do will be actually for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna and will be in tune with the culture of Braj, with the mood of Brajabhumi. So we end this principle of pilgrimage with one beautiful verse from Vrindavan Mahimamrita that speaks also about this mood of humility. And maybe Ayadakshi, if you would like to read it. You cannot.
She cannot. Yes.
Yes. Then maybe Vital, if you would like to read the verse.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Offering prayers to everyone, trying to please everyone, wishing all happiness for everyone, worshipping everyone, humbly bowing my neck before everyone, and abdomining all pride, I reside in this purifying land of Vrindavan.
Beautiful. This verse was staying with me for days and days. This makes us immediately in the right mood for being in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Now we will, Bhajanti will introduce to you a very beautiful soul. This is Deepak Baba. This is one of the sadhu that we met when we were there in Chandra Sarovar. Yes. Come closer enough. It's loud.
Yes, so that was because, like, as you know, normally when we do this Vraja, we try to bring to you also some experience live from the person we meet there. So we try to make some interview. There is a little challenge that we don't speak so well Hindi, but we still try, we want to connect. So in that day, we went to Candra Sarovan, we were looking, okay, who will be the person that we can interview. And but we were not sure because there were the pujaris of the Vala Sampradaya, the priest. And then we remember that practically where is Chandra Sarovar, there are 8 hexagonal with some, how you call them? Some
Mutis.
yes, some statue murtis of the Astachak, they're called the 8 poets and in the Vallabha Sampradaya. And under them, practically there is, I don't know, it's maybe 1 meter by 1.5 meters. There are some small rooms under with the door. So, and under this, practically some sadhus are living, some person are living there. That their own life is just chanting and being there, meditating on the song of Surdas. And so there was one, and we thought maybe we just go to him and we will try to ask some question and make the interview. So as we approached, here we found what is the name? Deepak Baba. At the end, he told us, actually, I'm Krishna Das Baba. Very humble person, and it was very touching to us because he was speaking actually some English, some broken English also. So that was very good. So we came there. It was early in the morning. I think it was around 6 o'clock. So he was just he took his bath. He was just making his own tilak, and very sober. But as soon as he passed, he just finished his tilak, and then immediately took an asana. He has not many belonging, but a mat. He put the mat for us and down. We were surprised that he was speaking little English and also like a Gaudiya, like us, from Vaishnava tradition, and since over 20 years living there. And it's all does also inside of this small room, as we say, maybe 2 meters, because he also lays down to rest. There's just a small altar and a window that looks, you can see the Chandra Sarovara and everything. That's it. And then we were speaking with him. First of all, it was impossible to take an interview. We were trying to explain, but he said no, there is no. It was just very humble, and but he was telling us about a little bit about chanting, and he would say, "Yeah, the only thing I do when I chant is I committed so many sinful activities in my life, in previous lives. So please, my dear Lord, be kind to me. Radha and Krishna, be kind to me." And when he was saying like this, we also felt very touched because like you can see in the picture, a very shining personality. Inside. Otherwise, you cannot just live in 2 meters, never come out and just chant the whole day. And he was looking at us, and we felt, okay, he is like this. Who are we? We felt also like so, but so with the extreme humility. And then he was saying, yeah, only if the devotee, if you pray for me, then I can continue to chant and to do bhajan. And then so we spent some time with him. I tried a few times to see if we could record. He would say no, please. And then at the end we say, so thank you very much for giving us your time, because that the morning time is when one is chanting, is meditating, very important time, no? And we felt, thank you that you gave us your time. We understood it was a gift that we got. But then he say, okay, if I don't serve the Vaishnava, what is the use of my chanting of the bhajan? The Lord will not be pleased. So really also this deep understanding of being serving and being kind. And right after, so we left him, and we were just sitting just next, maybe 10 meters away. We thought, okay, we will also chant next to him. And as this is the place also of Surdas, we have also a book with the poems of Surdas. And I say, okay, let me just open one of the poems of Surdas. And as we open one of the poems of Surdas, this poem was the effect of meeting with devotee. That was the name of the poems. And he was saying, when the Lord is pleased with someone, then they will get to meet Vaishnavas. And all the sins will go away. And immediately I remember also, I think it's, I'm not sure if it's Narottam Das Thakur or Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that they say actually simply by seeing a Vaishnava is more purifying than taking bath in the Ganga. And we really felt immediately when we sat to chant, like complete our heart purified simply by the association of such saintly person. And as we will see today, just the importance of meeting also those devotees who have experience in their heart, who have realization. And you can really feel, well, as we felt, it's just your heart, it becomes immediately transformed. It's touched. You cannot stay, it's not something intellectual. It's something because their heart has some emotions, some feelings for Krishna that it touches you. And your heart cannot stay still. And so this was our experience. Then yesterday we went back to Candra Sarovar because we went through our challenges for 1 month with the health issues. So we came a little bit out of Vrindavan completely also with the body. And we thought maybe it would be good to go again back to Candra Sarovar and again pray to enter the transcendental Vrindavan, a different dimension of Vrindavan. As we arrived there, and actually we made we went around the lake, and then again we saw. Actually, at the end, we asked him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Actually, I'm Krishna Das Baba." He doesn't even want. My spiritual master gave me Deepak, but I'm just a servant. So that was his. So yesterday we saw him. He immediately came towards us, very kind again, and say, "How are you?" And he said, "Thanks to the Lord, good," and like this. But he was, I think, he was going somewhere. He had his own bag. But as he saw us, then we saw he went again back, opened his small kutir, he went inside, and he came out with this. I don't know if you can see. And then he showed us and he said, "Look up there." And the tree under where is small, there was a peacock. And he said, "This peacock is also, he leaves always many peacock feathers. And I always give as a gift to the Vaishnavas." And we felt again such a kind personality, like he wanted to give, always to share and to give. And yes, I was also reflecting a little bit, only actually when our chanting depends actually on our behavior and our mentality. It's not by our own endeavors. I mean, definitely we need to try our best. But it's very much important also how we develop this quality, Vaishnava qualities of being kind, of being a servant. And this will attract the mercy that will allow us to chant, to sit down and chant. So that was what Krishna Das Baba, that with this feather that we will keep with us. We will always remember him.
So we will go now to the next part of our living in Braj today. It will be the slideshow. We will go all around the Kund, Chandra Sarovar, and this is the time when we should feast with our eyes and try to really stay present and observe all the picture. The background music that we will have today, it's not the Maha Mantra, but it's a background music that was played there. We were there chanting the holy name, and there was this music on the loudspeaker, and we found it so beautiful that we just recorded it. So it might help us to really be there with our ears and with our eyes. On the picture, you will see the kund, you will see holy trees, and you will see some of those small kutiras that are under those Astachap, those 8 poets of the Vallabha Sampradaya. You will see also some of them. You will see the the Bhajan Kutir of Vallabhacharya, who also had his sitting place there. And you will see also Surdas Samadhi that is there. So all that will be in the slideshow. And after the slideshow, we will speak a little bit about the Rasalila dance that took place in Chandra Sarovar. And then Vajanti will end by speaking about Surdas. So I will the music and we go for the slideshow.
हरि मैया मोरी मैं नहीं
Okay, so we will continue our journey, and now we will enter into the realm of the Rasalila. And I just found in my private reading recently a beautiful verse in Govinda Lilamrita, and maybe Nikunja Viharini, if you would like to read it.
Radha and Krishna gradually showed each of their own expert artistic dancing gestures on their limbs. Seeing their highly expert, incomparable dancing postures by which they made each other proud and satisfied, the assembled Sakhis became very happy and rewarded the two dancers with the jewels of their bodies and hearts.
Thank you. So Krishna likes actually very much to dance. He likes to dance sometimes with the gopas. He likes to dance on the hoods of Kaliya. And obviously, he likes very much to dance with the gopis. And this is what is happening here in Chandra Sarovar. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 5 chapters which are called Rasa Panchadhyaya, which actually are like the life's air of Srimad Bhagavatam, like the body had 5 life air. Srimad Bhagavatam has those 5 chapters of the Rasa Lila as the life air of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, sometimes devotees are a little bit fearful, if I hear about Rasa Lila, maybe it will increase lust inside of me. And that's actually not going to happen. It's Hariprasad Prabhu gave a very nice example. He said there was a teacher who drew a line on the board, and then he said, now you should think how to make this line shorter without touching the line. And one student who was quite intelligent understood, and he stood up and he went to the board and he drew a much longer line under the one that was already done that needed to be shortened. And then automatically, in comparison to the new long line, the other line became shorter. So Hariprasad gives this example in regard to the Rasa Lila and this theme of actually lust. When we are connected to the material world and our own material life, then we are very often covered by this lust. But when we contrast the spiritual world, that means we put a long line next to our small materialistic life, then this actually slowly disappeared. And in Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada writes that Shukadev Goswami conclude the episode of the Rasa Lila by pointing out that if a person hears from the right source about the pastimes of Krishna, who is Vishnu himself, and the gopis who are expansion of his energy, then he will be relieved from the most dangerous type of disease, namely lust. In other words, one who actually hears the Rasa Lila will become completely freed from the lusty desires of sex life and elevate to the highest levels of spiritual understanding. So we will try to have a little glimpse into these beautiful pastimes of Krishna dancing with the gopis. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave a very nice comment. He said that Krishna himself submitted himself fully to the Rasa Lila. that there was no leader. The only leader was actually the Rasalila. Krishna gave up his independence and let this Lila Shakti, the Rasalila, to actually direct the whole dancing pastime. Therefore, the Rasalila dance is universally proclaimed to be supreme pastimes of the Lord. We were hearing a little bit from Vallabha Sampradaya, who is very present in Chandra Sarovara. And in the Vallabha Sampradaya, there is explanation that before the Rasalila, Lord Krishna, or Srinathji, like they called him in Vallabha Sampradaya, appeared in a dream to one devotee. His name was Krishnadas. And he said, Krishnadas, I want to do my Rasalila, and I know you sing very nicely. Please come and sing for me when I will dance, and please call Shyam Kumar, who is an amazing Mridanga player, to be there and play the Mridanga as I will do by dancing. So Krishna and the gopis came there to Chandra Sarovar, and the trees, birds, animals, and even Govardhan Hill were all rejoicing, seeing Krishna and the gopis arriving there. And then in the middle of the night, a big light appeared, and the Maharas began. Shyam Kumar was there and started to play and sing, and Srimati Radharani started to dance with Krishna. Krishna's bluish complexion shimmered in the moonlight, and his peacock feather danced jubilantly. His Gunja necklace was swinging to and fro at every step. Then, empowered by his Lila Shakti, Krishna expanded himself in many, many forms of Krishna and was dancing with every single gopis. And then all those couples of Krishna gopis made a big cycle. And in the middle, Krishna was there with Srimati Radharani to dance. Their dance was very, very graceful. And their eyebrows were like bow and arrows. Sometimes in the center, Radharani danced and chanted alone, and Krishna played his flute to accompany Radharani's dancing and chanting. Everything is so beautiful. Radharani is most enchanting and delicate amongst all the gopis, and her body is softer than anyone else. Radharani was dancing and chanting, and Krishna with his flute was repeating the melody that Radharani was singing. Krishna was doing the Sangati. He was just repeating the melody that Radharani was singing with his flute. And sometimes Radharani played her veena, and Krishna started to dance. Now from the sky, the demigods came and to witness this amazing dance. And they decided to accompany Krishnadas and Shyam Kumar, who were the musicians of the Rasalila, and they started to play with drums, and they started to throw flowers, petals on Radha and Krishna and all the gopis. From the perspective of the demigod, they saw exquisite sapphires paired together with flashing diamonds. They were looking at this incredible display of playful smiles, flashing eyebrows, and moving of feet and hands. Krishna and the gopis' waist were bending, their faces were perspiring, and their earrings were swinging. Now, among the demigods, one who was there was Candra. Remember, we are in Chandra Sarovar. Candra is the moon god, And he, when he saw this Rasalila, he just got stuck in the middle of the sky. He could not move anymore. It was giving his full light, his full service to the Rasalila dance of Krishna, Radharani, and the gopis. Now it is explained that this Rasalila was lasting a long time, one night of Brahma. And for a long time, all this time, Chandra remained stuck in the middle of the sky, giving his light for the Rasa dance. Now, because it was for so long time, Chandra started to get ecstatic symptoms. And one of them was the shedding of tears. So he produced torrents of tears that came down and created this beautiful lake called Chandra Sarovara. At the end of this night of Brahma, Krishna observed that the gopis were becoming fatigued, and he lovingly wiped their face, the perspiration on their face, and together they entered Chandra Sarovar to refresh themselves. The gopi was splashing Krishna, and Krishna was playing like the king of elephant. After their bath in Chandra Sarovar, they dressed again in fresh clothes. The gopis were massaging Lord Krishna. They were decorating each other, and they were ending these beautiful pastimes by eating fruits, juice, and berries. So that was just a little glimpse into these beautiful pastimes of the Rasalila. And there we see this is a very beautiful talent or art to dance and sing, and how all those gopis were so excellent in being in harmony with the dance of Krishna, in moving their eyes, like we see sometimes Indian dance. They move the eyes, they move the hands, everything is in perfect harmony and perfect expertise, flexibility. Yeah, very, very beautiful. So we can imagine how rich of talents was this Rasalila dance between Krishna and the gopis. And in Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada gives a very beautiful takeaway of this pastime. And he said that we should learn, as living entities in this world, we should learn to dance in harmony with Krishna in our life, meaning in harmony with Krishna's plans, in harmony of how Krishna moves our life. We should learn to dance in the same harmony and follow in the mood of Lord Krishna, in the arrangements of Lord Krishna, which is actually a very beautiful way to end the pastime. It's again something very high, and I did not spoke for long into it, but just giving some few lights, and Prabhupada just bring it very deep into our point that in our life we should learn to dance in the harmony with Krishna's plan. There is another small pastimes that took place close to there. It's actually on Govardhan Hill. When you pass from Govinda Kund in direction of Punchari, at a certain time there will be a small temple of Lord Balaram, a pink temple on your right side, which is actually on the hill, very small temple. And it is said that once Lord Balaram was there at this particular place, and from there he looked toward Chandra Sarovar, and he saw the Rasalila dance of Krishna, and he started to observe. Usually Balaram is not so much connected to the Madhurya Lila of Lord Krishna, but this time he took his chance and started to observe. And what he saw was very uncommon. He saw that Krishna was dancing with many gopis, but then he saw that all the gopis were actually one single person. He saw that all the gopis that were singing with all the Krishna were actually Radharani. He saw that Radharani expanded as many forms as form of Krishna were there, Radharani has expanded, and there were only Radha and Krishna pairs dancing together. And when Lord Balaram saw this amazing sight, he just fainted, and his crown rolled down Govardhan hill and went on the Govardhan Shila and made a particular imprint in this Govardhan Shila that we can still see nowadays. There is another beautiful pastime taking place there, and there I will give it back to Vajayanti.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a very beautiful pastime place, Chandra Sarovara. Also, really, when you go to visit, it's really beautiful, really beautiful. And another of the pastimes that take place actually daily, every day. It's when Radha and Krishna every day visit Chandra Sarovar, and they have their honey drinking pastimes. This is around the noon time, as they wander into the forest. And this honey, it's actually collected by the gopis from the Vanasaki, the gopis of the forest, from different trees of Raj. So they mix the honey with yogurt and milk and different other powders. And then all the girls, the gopis, are sitting under these beautiful trees that they are in Chandra Sarovar, and they are slightly intoxicated by this honey beverage, and they start to laugh and to joke like young girls are doing. They joke, and the source of their joy, it's always Lord Krishna. So with this laughing and joking, they give a lot of pleasure to Shamasundara. So the shape of the Chandra Sarovar, that is a lake created from, as you remember, profuse tears of Chandra Deva. On the western side of Chandra Sarovar, there is also a resting place of Radha and Krishna, again in the afternoon, and this is called Shingar Mandir. I think we saw the picture, a beautiful picture of some deities of Radha and Krishna, and this is the place, is the resting place of Radha and Krishna, where they daily take some rest after the drinking of the honey. And on the eastern side of Chandra Sarovar, it's a small temple, and this temple is called Radha Chandra Bihari. And yes, we were mentioning before, I guess you saw now nicely in the picture, it's like octagonal, and in each angle of the octagon, there are like this small construction where you can see the Astachap, it means the 8 poets of the Vallabha Sampradaya. Now we will have a small video so that you can nicely see, you can already see in the first picture, like what we were speaking about. There are 8, 1, 2, and all around. And if you can see, this is under, so here is the poet, and under here, so these are what we were speaking before, these small kutir, small rooms with if you can see, they all have also a small window. So the sadhus that they are living inside here, they open the window and they just look at Chandra Sarovar. And it was very nice because when we arrived yesterday, so there are like maybe 4 or 5 sadhus living there. And one of them actually was here. It was, I guess it's a part of his daily sadhana, is singing songs. So you will hear, because these are poets, and so we will hear about his singing and sing Chandra Sarovara, and afterward we will speak a little more about poetry and about Surdas.
மதுரமாக்கி நீ யமுனையில் ஒழுகும் எந்த மனசின் சரிதனையாக்கி கண்ணன் துதையாக்கி என்னை காயகனாக்கி குருவாயூரப்பா கண்ணன் மதமுத்திருளை வர்ணம் கதகள் தளிர்க்கும் துவாபரயுகமு
Wonderful. I guess you could see at the end under the mosquito net on this construction, you could see the hands of a sadhu. So that were actually beating in the time, in the rhythm, and this was the sadhu that was singing the songs. And yes, here, so Candra Sarovara is also a place of, as we say, it's an artful place where there is a dance with dancing, singing, and the poets are there. So very beautiful. And one of the quality of the Vaishnava is actually being a poet. And naturally, when one's heart is touched, especially about touched by love of Krishna, Radha and Krishna, it seems naturally when one is happy and touched by emotions, it feels like singing, chanting, expressing this emotion through poetry. And it's something very beautiful. And yeah, reading these poems of the Vaishnavas, it has a deep effect on our heart, a deep meditation and divine couple. I just remember also how Srila Prabhupada would say that actually even the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of Narottam Das Thakur, they are considered non-different than the Vedas. So these are the realization of the saintly person, of the saint person. They are not different in the scripture because it's like pouring from their heart. It's like their cup becomes so full that they cannot keep it inside any longer and they have to express it. And we say it's like a wave that naturally touches our heart also. All of us have experienced when we read also poetry. And so much that there is a verse also that say actually poetry can be called poetry only when it's piercing the heart. If it's not piercing the heart, it's not poetry. And the glories of the Vaishnava, of the devotional poetry, is like because it's an expression of devotion. And as we say, it's because the heart of the poet himself is touched by bhakti, by devotion for the Lord, and then he's like expressing it. It's there to describe the relationship between the individual soul and the Lord, this divine. And I also noticed, like, yeah, definitely reading the Vaishnava, the poems of the Vaishnava, it provides also a space for us, for the reader, to for a spiritual reflection and for growth. From my side, I think it has always been like an entrance gate in Bhakti. From the very beginning, I always loved to sing the song of Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I always felt, yeah, like a space that helps me also to grow and to reflect. And also, like, I was reflecting, like, when we hear, why it's so powerful also, because when we read those songs, when we listen to those poets, actually we are directly associating with these personalities. I remember also how Bhaktivinoda Thakur will say, is reason heal the one who thinks that the Vaishnava dies, is always living in sound. Like Prabhupada also, we know, is eternally present in his book. So actually, when we read and hear their poems, actually we are directly associated, serving actually even them by reading with our full attention. And in this way, I remembered also like our Haripashad Prabhu, he was mentioning, because like when we associate, so we associate with them and they have this experience in their heart. So bhava, that is emotion for the Lord, is not something intellectual. It's not, so it's something that bhakti comes from bhakti. So it can come only from a living person. So when we hear also those poems, this is their emotions, their feeling, and when we hear them with attention and with our full heart, it can be transferred to our heart as well. So that's the power also of devotional poetry. And yeah, so it can create really a profound transformation in our heart also. Now we will speak of the picture
Yeah.
of yeah, that's good, that's good. So now we will speak about, you see in this beautiful picture, this is Surdas. You can see with the instrument, he was very expert actually in playing and singing. And here you can see actually Srinathaji, they call, you see under, you see Lord Krishna as a small Krishna with the flute, and represented just behind him is Srinathaji, that is lifting the Govardhan hill. This is the deity that we find in most of the temple of the Vallabha Sampradaya, it's Gopal. And so we will speak a little bit about Surdas. Again, also for me, also when I just, I knew Surdas, but I didn't know the whole story. So when I start to hear the story and like this, I felt just so touched again. And so Surdas, it's not far from us. He actually took birth in 1479. So not before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a little before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not much. And he took birth in a Brahminical family in the village that is called Sihi, is close to Agra, so not far from the area of Mathura Vrindavana. And already since childhood, like most of the saintly personality, like also Deva Goswami, he was already special. I mean, he was born blind, so since birth he could not see, but he had some mystical ability. So he could find when someone would lose something, he could immediately know where to find those things. So again, we don't need eyes, he had some mystical powers. And he was also able to predict the future since childhood. And while other children in the village were playing, he had only one interest. He liked very much to listen from his mother reciting the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan. Was his favorite play. And then when he was around 5 years old, one day as he was walking, because he was blind, he could not see that there was, just wait 1 minute. Just there is some sound, I will wait that is passing by. Yeah. So he was 5 years old and he could not see that there was a ditch. And then he felt in a deep well. So he was a 5 years old boy and he fell in this well where he was there for 6 days. But the whole time, somehow or other, he was quite calm and thinking and praying to Krishna. And then something happened. So that was the 7th day, and Radha and Krishna themselves appeared to him. They wanted to rescue him from the well. So Shrimati Radharani was there just quietly next to Krishna. And when Surdas, not knowing who she was, he just grabbed her ankles, the lotus feet of Shrimati Radharani. You can imagine as a small child. So he just took the feet of Radharani. And then she say, Surdas, maybe it was not Surdas at the time, I'm Shirada, and please let go my feet. But Surdas said, I am blind. I cannot see, so I'm not sure that you are really Shrimati Radharani. And then, so Krishna smiled because he understood actually what was in the thought process of Surdas. He smiled and he said, with his hand, he made like this, and now Surdas could see. He could see and he had the darshan of beautiful Radha and Krishna just in front of him. And then Lord Krishna, attracted by the devotion of small Surdas already, he say, dear Surdas, I want to give you a boon. And if you want, I will leave you. You can, your eyes now, you can see again. But small Surdas folded his hand, and just by looking at the beautiful Radha and Krishna in front of him, he say, my dear Lord, I actually want to remain blind. I don't want to see any other form. I only want to see you with my dear Shrimati Radharani, Vrindavaneshwar. And like this, so he was brought up by Shri Radha Ishnamasundara, and his whole life he was blind. But actually, he was not really blind. Actually, we were reading yesterday a verse actually of Raghunath Das Goswami that is also praying that when I will be able to hear the ankle bells of Srimati Radharani. And there is, it actually hears. They don't hear the ankle bells of Srimati Radharani. They are like, how you say, deaf? It's like eyes that they cannot see Radha and Krishna. They are blind. So we are the real blind one. But Surdas actually was the one who had the real eyes. And but unfortunately, as a result of being a child and being blind, as you know, children are very playful, and they were always teasing him. So in this way, Surdas, as a result, became quickly detached from material life. And in a spiritual renunciation, at the age of 6, he took sannyas. You can imagine also. So he just left, he left, and he came actually in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, where actually this was from the very beginning, was he had these talents, these qualities that he also so he became very expert in playing different musical instrument, and he was selected because of his devotion and abilities to be the chief singer of the Gopal temple in Govardhan. That's the same temple that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavana, he wanted to see Gopal that was on the hill. So this is the temple. He was actually the chief singer, and he was making poems about Gopal, also about Radha and Krishna. And there was one of the pujari in the temple that somehow or other was curious how Surdas was always able to describe the beauty of Gopal so nicely without seeing him. I mean, the pujari thought that he cannot see him. Now, and he said, okay, now I want little to test Surdas. So that day, the pujari dressed Surdas only Srinathji, the deity of Gopal. He dressed him only with a single strand of pearl necklace. So Srinathji Lord Krishna was dressed only with a necklace of pearls. And when the curtain opened, the pujari said, "Dear Surdas, tell us how Gopal looks today." And Surdas started to laugh on seeing how Gopal was dressed that day. And with this transcendental vision that he had no clothes that time. And then immediately he burst out, he started to sing again. I thought it would be nice to be able to sing like Surdas actually was the first poet that actually all these poems are written in Vraja Bhasa, the language of Vrindavan. That is not Hindi, it's a little different. And actually he is the one who started, and then he became well known. Now many poets, there are many poets in the language of Vrindavan. And so as he was starting to singing, he said, "See, Lord Hari, today is naked. He looks beautiful, extremely beautiful in every limb, clothed in pearls. His being naked adds to the beauty of every limb, is even more beautiful when he's naked." Actually, we had the experience the other time when we went to Haridev. In the morning, you can see the Abhishek of Haridev without clothes. Oh, it was beautiful. Very beautiful, and also with this dark stone and so shining, and you can see like every shape of the deity. So in the same were Surdas. So Surdas joined with all the gopis of Vrindavan in a joyous laughter. Yeah, so this is the poem that he composed just at that moment. So after that incident, everyone was convinced that Surdas had a different kind of vision. He was always in the presence of the Lord. And so his fame also in writing and composing poems grew actually very, very rapidly. And also because he was singing the songs and poems with Vrijabhasa language, it became also very dear also to the inhabitants of Vrindavan. And I thought just to share with you one of the poems I actually found one book that is with the English translation. So if someone interested, we can also put on the chat. And it's very nice to read these poems. So one of the poem, actually yesterday when we were again in Candra Sarovara, we opened the book, and this was one of the poems we found, and we found it very beautiful, and we thought of sharing with you. And this poem is called Ekagrata Dridata Ashraya. That means one-pointed, loyal devotion. And here Surdas say, there is no place any longer left in my heart. Shri Krishna, the son of Nanda, has already filled it up. So how can anyone else enter my heart any longer? Whether I'm walking, looking at anything, while being awake in the daytime, or even when I'm sleeping in the night, his sweet enchanting form never leaves my heart, not even for a second. Uddhava tried many reasoning and teaching to persuade me, but what can I do? My mind, my heart, my consciousness are full with this love. His dark beauty, his lotus eyes, his playful gait, his overwhelming smile. For the sight of this, the poet Surdas' eyes are dying of thirst. Jai Surdas Ki Jai. So now we will show you, this is, is there already? So this is so there in Candra Sarovara, there is a temple of the Vallabha Sampradaya, where again Vallabhacharya was also sitting, meditating there in Candra Sarovara. And just behind the temple, you can see this is the Samadhi of Surdas, where his body, when he left his body. And so he spent most of his time in Candra Sarovara. And it is said actually that Candra Sarovara for the followers of the Vallabhacharya is what Radhakund is for the followers of the Gaudiya Vaishnava. And here is actually where he left his body in 1581. And when was the day that Surdas was close to leaving his body? The son of Vallabhacharya, named Vittala, was there with Surdas, and he asked a question. And he asked, Surdas, what are you thinking about now at this time? And again, Surdas, it's also amazing now if you think at the time of death. I mean, we had experience to see someone leaving the body. At the time of death, they asked him this question. And here you can see, this is the last song that Surdas wrote. So he was asking, what is happening, Surdas? And Surdas started to again sing a poem just on the spot like this. And he say, this poem is also very beautiful. He say, Krishna's beautiful eyes are like Kanjana birds, full of rasa, very restless, and slightly reddened due to intoxication. Seeing this, my life cannot remain in the cage of this body any longer. And finishing this song like this, he just leave the body. It's amazing, no? It's also for us what an aspiration also that, that we can also attain a state of consciousness that we can just be absorbed in the thought of the Lord. And from that day, so devotees that they are going to visit in pilgrimage in Candra Sarovara, they go also to the Samadhi of Surdas and they pray. They pray also to have that inner vision. As we say, that the eyes of the heart will become open and that we can also see Radha and Krishna. So maybe we can go back to the picture before. So yes, so maybe we can take just a few minutes now after we heard this beautiful song where he said that the eyes of Krishna are like Anjana birds, and my soul is encaged now in the cage of the material body. So I want to fly to you. I cannot stay any longer in this cage. So we can take a little time also, as we say, the Vaishnava never dies. So to pray to Surdas, that we also become absorbed and we can also develop this vision in our heart, where one day by his blessing we will also be able to have a glimpse of the beauty of Radha and Krishna. Jai Shri Surdas ki jai.
Shri Candra Sarovara ki jai. So, thank you so much for joining us today. That was the part 2 of Chandra Sarovar, which was actually very, very much filled of beautiful reflections, beautiful thoughts. And thank you, Vajanti, for speaking so nicely of Surdas. We had a little bit of the Rasalila also, in case you remember some of the details, maybe a picture here or there of how sometimes Radharani will play the veena and Krishna will be dancing along, or how Radharani will sing and dance and Krishna will follow the melody of her singing with his flute. Or Krishna Das and Shyam Kumar were there playing their best for accompanying the dance of Krishna and the gopis. Anything that you can take with you today, please treasure it into your heart and try to keep it for some days. And yeah, the whole idea of this living in Braj is to impregnate our consciousness into the place. You might also remember some of the picture you saw, some of the sound that you heard, and eventually spend a little bit time with your consciousness being there in Chandra Sarovar, and eventually look in the sky and see a profuse torrent of rain, of tears coming down from the moon god, who is just amazed to see the Rasalila dance for so long. So hope you can take something with you, and Krishna willing, we meet in 2 weeks for another adventure of living in Raj. If any one of you would like to have any comments or any question or any addition you would like to bring to the session, please feel free to share with us.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Yatakshi, so nice to see you.
So nice to be here. You cannot imagine what a gift you gave us. Just yesterday I was cleaning my room. I have so many books, different types of books of my work and everything, and also devotional book. And Gita Govinda came to my hand because I need to make some space. And also obstacles, something about obstacles of Vinod Baba. And I just opened and I said, ah, it's so far away, I cannot understand anything. I said, I cannot connect. Anyway, I will keep it there because in the moment it's very, not difficult, but yeah, very period of my life, so many things with both parents and family karmic situations. And then this morning I was preparing, I said, wow, how will I connect? And now I'm amazed by your presentations that you completely brought me there. Completely. So this dry desert Ayatashi is not present at this moment with me. Thank you so much. I'm amazed how by this lecture, your effort and your devotion through this screen, plastic screen, touch my heart. Really, I know that the words are dry also, they cannot explain, but it's a situation of two different type of consciousness. So thank you so much. I feel like my pothos that I have, my pothos plant, yesterday I watched it and it's so dry. And I felt a little bit like pothos, so dry. Thank you. Super sweet. Super, super, super sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ayataki. Thank you for sharing.
Sorry that I took so much time, but I'm under the effect of happiness, spiritual happiness.
Good, good.
Very good. Someone else like to share?
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Yes,
Nisha,
thank you very much
Hare.
also for reminding. Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving this opportunity to be in this reality and to feel to see different from point of view of sadhu first and this beautiful views and this very 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 uh, magnifying songs of Surdas who's exceptional personality really and I'm taking with me many some points also about the blessings of Krishna who is giving association of devotees so this association also and that Prabhupada spurs that we should learn to dance in the flow of Krishna's will. Yes. Yes, and this emotion of small boy Surdas who didn't want to become, who wanted to stay blind, just to be focused on Krishna, not to see this emotion.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we thank you all for joining today, and we will need to plan for 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we don't know yet where we will where we will take you, but we will definitely try to prepare another nourishing experience into the Holy Dham, and we really hope that one day we will take you physically.
You can come here. I also was thinking that would be so nice.
Yeah.
At the same time, I also remember how Prabhupada would say it's Vrindavan, it's a state of consciousness. So, I mean, for ourselves also, because normally our mind tends always to be so much absorbed in what is happening to us. It's natural also. But like for us also, when we prepare, like also by Surdas Association, maybe it's how we learn a different kind of absorption, no? To create a different state of consciousness. So thank you also for the opportunity that you give us, that we can do this service.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai. Shri Vrindavan ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Haribo, thank you, thank you.